Hey history buffs and curious minds, welcome back to my channel, where we dive deep into the stories that shaped our world. Today, we're talking about a man who doesn't always get the spotlight he deserves. John Adams, the second president of the United States. If you think American history is all about Washington and Jefferson, buckle up, because Adams' story is packed with drama, grit, and some serious founding father energy. From his fiery defense of liberty to navigating a young nation through turbulent times, John Adams was a powerhouse. So, grab a snack, hit that subscribe button, and let's unpack the life and legacy of this unsung hero. Oh, and stick around to the end for a fun fact that'll blow your mind. Alright, let's set the stage. John Adams was born on October 30th, 1735, in Braintree, Massachusetts, now Quincy, for you geography nerds. He grew up in a modest farming family, the son of a deacon and a local militia officer. Young John wasn't exactly dreaming of revolution. He went to Harvard at 15, studied law, and became a lawyer by 1758. But the times were changing, and so was Adams. The British were tightening their grip on the colonies with taxes like the Stamp Act, and Adams? He wasn't having it. By the 1760s, Adams was writing fiery essays against British overreach. He argued that the colonies should have the same rights as Englishmen. No taxation without representation. Anyone? His big break came in 1770 when he did something pretty bold. He defended the British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre. Now, before you raise an eyebrow, hear me out. Adams believed in justice and a fair trial, even for the enemy. He got most of the soldiers acquitted, proving he was a man of principle, not just passion. This move earned him respect, even from those who disagreed with him. Adams' star kept rising. He joined the continental government in ways deemed seditious. Yikes, right? Adams signed these laws, fearing French spies and internal unrest, but they backfired. Critics, including Jefferson, slammed them as attacks on free speech. Newspapers were shut down and people were jailed. It's one of the darkest marks on Adams' legacy, and it fueled his unpopularity. Despite the drama, Adams had successes. He strengthened the federal government, expanded the Navy, and kept the U.S. neutral in a global conflict. He also appointed John Marshall as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, a move that shaped American law for decades. But his presidency wasn't glamorous. Adams faced constant attacks from both Federalists, who thought he wasn't aggressive enough, and Jefferson's Democratic Republicans, who painted him as a monarchist. The guy couldn't catch the break. Let's take a moment to talk about John Adams, the man. He wasn't your typical charismatic leader like Washington or Jefferson. Adams was short, balding, and famously prickly. He once said, "I am a man of reserved, cold, austere, and forbidding manners." But beneath that gruff exterior was a brilliant mind and a devoted heart. His marriage to Abigail Adams was one of the great love stories of the era. Abigail was his intellectual equal, his confidant, and his fiercest supporter. Their letters, thousands of them, are a treasure trove of insight into their partnership and the Revolutionary era. Adams was also a family man, raising 5 children, including John Quincy Adams, who'd later become the 6th president. Despite his public duties, Adams always prioritized his family. He was deeply principled, often to a fault. He refused to play political games or pander for popularity, which made him enemies but also earned him respect. His commitment to duty over ego is why historian David McCullough calls him the Atlas of Independence. The election of 1800 was a brutal one. Adams ran for re-election against Jefferson again, and it got personal. Jefferson's camp called Adams a tyrant. Adams' supporters called Jefferson an atheist. The Alien and Sedition Acts hung over Adams like a dark cloud, and the Federalist Party was fracturing. In the end, Jefferson won, and Adams became the first president to lose re-election. He left office quietly on March 4, 1801, skipping Jefferson's inauguration, not his finest moment. After leaving office, Adams retired to his farm in Quincy. He patched things up with Jefferson, and their later correspondence is a goldmine of wisdom about democracy and governance. Adams lived to see his son, John Quincy, become president in 1825. On July 4, 1826, 50 years to the day after the Declaration of Independence, Adams died at 90. His last words? Thomas Jefferson survives. Little did he know Jefferson had died hours earlier. Talk about a poetic exit. So, what's Adams' legacy? He's often overshadowed by Washington's grandeur or Jefferson's eloquence, but Adams was the glue that held the early republic together. He championed independence, built the Navy, and kept America out of war. Sure, the Alien and Sedition Acts were a misstep, but his commitment to principle over popularity set a standard for leadership. Without Adams, the U.S. might not have survived its infancy. Alright, here's that fun fact I promised. Did you know John Adams was so obsessed with manure that he wrote detailed letters about it? He called it the most valuable of all fertilizers and spent hours experimenting with it on his farm. Who knew the second president was such a manure enthusiast? If you enjoyed this dive into John Adams' life, smash that like button and subscribe for more history deep dives. Drop a comment below. Do you think Adams deserves more credit, or did the Alien and Sedition Acts tarnish his legacy? And if you want to learn more about the Founding Fathers, check out our playlist linked in the description. Thanks for